show you. I know I've talked about the scholarships at, at nauseum, but now I want to show you how you actually do it. And this is where you start. You start by clicking on your My VVC tab to open up your My VVC portal. I should have one open here already. I've got this toolbar in the way. And your My VVC will open up, and it should look something, let's see, like this. Okay, so there it is. So when you open up your My VVC, it should look just like this. And to get your scholarship application going, you're going to want to click on, you're going to want to click on Scholarship Manager. And it's the one with the blue mortarboard. You will notice that there are two scholarship manager icons on your desktop. One says Scholarship Manager, the other says Scholarship Manager, and then Community in parentheses. That is not for students. That is specifically for folks out in the community who help us to review scholarship applications. So again, the scholarship application is just plain old Scholarship Manager. You're going to find, of course, the correct year. You can always review your last year's responses, but of course, we are working on the application for the 2021-2022 school year. Here at VVC, we offer one annual scholarship drive. So much like when you complete your FAFSA for financial aid, you're always applying for funds to help you pay for the coming school year. So you're applying this spring, of course, to help pay for next fall and next spring. This is the actual scholarship application itself. The application that asks you, your generic information, what you're going to school for, GPA, a little bit of background on your work history, maybe some high school experience, volunteer experience. All of that will be found on these first two pages. So you'll see there's a little bit of information. It asks you how you heard about our scholarship opportunities, and then it goes into your student information. Your student ID number will automatically transfer over here in the Victor Valley Student ID Center. Please don't try to change that. We have had issues where students have not been paid out their scholarships for this particular reason, which is why we worked hard to make sure that it's pre-populated for you. So you'll have your name, address. When you list your phone number, please list whatever phone number is easiest for somebody at the school to contact you. Remember, I'm Chris Nunez. I'm the scholarship coordinator. I'm the free money guy. You want to get a phone call from me. So make sure you've got a great number in there. County of residence, that again, anything that has a red asterisk next to it is of course a required field. Anything without that is not required. You may notice that there are some questions on here. Of course, it asks you about your ethnicity, if you have any disabilities. Every question that appears on a scholarship application, it's there because one of our scholarships, depending on how you answer that question, it opens up your eligibility for that scholarship. So it's important to answer everything as completely, as thoroughly, and as honestly as possible. We'll go over to the next one. Nothing on this application can penalize you. And a lot of folks ask, well, I don't qualify for financial aid through the FAFSA or Cal Grant or the Cal Promise Grant, so I'm not going to qualify for scholarships either. What most people don't realize is that financial aid and scholarships are separate. Financial aid is given to you to help, and you have to meet certain income requirements in order to qualify for it, as to where scholarships are merit-based, and those funds are given to you again, and you don't have to pay those back either. Again, different from, of course, a student loan. This second page, again, of our application goes into more detail on your background. So if you're an incoming freshman from one of our high schools, of course, we'll get some information based on that. If you've only attended school here at Victor Valley College, of course, you'll fill in that information here for your college info. Otherwise, if you're transferring from another institution, you can enter that information here. You'll notice here we have two different categories, one for your selected college major and the other for career plan. Because as we've heard from many of our instructors and faculty and staff here on campus, is that many of them went to school, studied for one particular thing, and that was their college major, but then they actually did something different in their career. So hence why it's two separate places here, because what we study might not be exactly what we're going to do in the real world. This is a very important section. Hopefully, you guys are paying attention here. This is asking specifically what your college plans are for the fall of 2021 and then for the spring of 2022. Of course, that's next academic year. It's very important because if we're going to award you a scholarship that covers both semesters, we want to make sure, of course, you're attending Victor Valley College both semesters. Which leads me to the last question in this section, and it's in regards to if you're transferring to another college or university. Some of our scholarships are transferable. So just because you're going to be going to another school doesn't mean you shouldn't apply. You most definitely should for a few reasons. Number one, some of our scholarships are transferable. And number two, the requirements of our scholarship are pretty general, meaning that the information that it takes for you to complete our application, you should be able to take the same information and apply it to any other scholarship application that you're going after. And it should make that process a heck of a lot easier because you've already done that work. Continuing on, of course, we ask about extracurricular activities, community service, if you've been a part of any clubs on campus, athletics, that kind of thing. And then again, just a little bit of financial information, but that only helps you. None of it will penalize you. And our third and last page of the actual application, for any of you who have filled it out before, you'll notice that the application is quite condensed. Now, if a question doesn't apply to you, you don't have to read through a ton and skip it. Everything that appears should apply to you. If any of your answers, if you answer a certain way to certain questions, a new question will be prompted for you to complete as well, but nothing unnecessary. This section is for your personal essay. So the prompt says, please write an essay to share some information about yourself, what you're going to school for, what your goals in education and life are. As an example, you may include information about work, community service, personal accomplishments, or life experience that you feel is pertinent. This is your opportunity to paint your picture that you are a real human being. An application is wonderful, but it's very two-dimensional. Your essay is your chance to talk to our donors and let them know why you're a good investment. Why should they invest their donated dollars into you, and what's your success going to yield for you, your family, and our community? There is no minimum requirement as far as words or word count for this essay. You can make it as long or as short as you want, however long it takes for you to tell your story. You can simply type this up in a Microsoft Word document, copy and paste right here, and you're good to go. Formatting is automatically taken care of. The next section is our letters of recommendation. There's a few tips and tricks on who you should ask for a letter of recommendation. Again, we typically say to try to stay away from anyone that is related to you. Find a family friend or a coworker, an employer. If you've done any volunteer work, whoever that coordinator was or from that organization would be a good person. If you attend church and volunteer, with any of those activities, that's another great resource to ask for a letter of recommendation. And it's become a lot easier. Rather than dealing with, needing to get an actual official letter and upload it, all you need to do in this section is, I'll open this up to add recommender. You'll type in the full name of the person that you're asking, their email address, and hit send email, and they'll automatically have a prompted email arrive to them that says that you are requesting a letter of recommendation from them, and it prompts them on questions that they can answer to have a fully prepared and a very robust letter of recommendation for you. So that's how you'll do that. You can obviously monitor if they've completed it. Of course, it has our due date being March 31st. If for whatever reason they said that they never received the email, or maybe they didn't remember, you can actually send them a reminder. Say you've changed your mind on who you're going to ask for that letter of recommendation. You can always click withdraw and select or type in a new recommender. You can put in up to 3 recommendations, but whoever returns your first 2 back, those are the ones that we'll use. And then last step to this journey is uploading your most recent transcripts. If you're a high school graduate, of course, we'll take your most recent high school transcripts. If you're attending Victor Valley College or another college or university, all you need to do is request an unofficial copy of your transcripts, save it as a PDF, and you can upload it right here. After you've completed these 3 pages, you'll click Review and Submit. And as of March 31st, our scholarship drive will close. The month of April, our committees will actually read and review and score all of your applications. In May, late May, you'll be notified of the scholarships that you've earned. And then in June, you'll be invited to a very, very special scholarship ceremony that we'll have here on campus. Right now, we're planning it. It'll be another fun drive-through scholarship ceremony, but it'll have a lot of interesting and fun things to do along the way. So I know it's quite the journey, it's quite the application, but again, it's very simple to get started. Open up your MyVVC portal, click on Scholarship Manager, and get started today. If any of you have any questions, again, you can always call me. I'm extension 2741, or you can email me at chris.nunez@vvc.edu. All right. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen here.